We're trying to do something different here. Normally what you do if you're going to rebuild this forest, you come through and you probably just spray out the weeds. And because we're on a working ranch with a very, very well-managed livestock program, we're trying to marry those two enterprises by using livestock to graze out the understory.
300 head sheep and goats and 32 bulls. They usually go for the good stuff first, usually like the kikuyu grass and on the other grasses and gingers, and they leave the blackberry for last.
I mean, it's basically allowing the ranch to use what it has, the cattle and the sheep and the goats, to take care of the invasive species.
That herd was basically about on 1 acre per day, and then they moved. So we're here now, it's about 5 weeks since the herd moved out. The grass is still low, and it's so much more ideal to plant in now than it was.
That's perfect. Now you know the tip at the bottom has that nice soil contact.
It's super important to plant trees correctly. We're in no rush. It's better to plant slow and correct than fast and wrong.
So you're packing it down, so you know that it's locked in there. Koa, of course, landed in the middle of the Pacific on these rocks, basically, and became a major part of the forest. This is the edge of the rainforest, and so, you know, probably some of the stronger koa grew in this area. You know, the upper elevations, the constant rainfall, the fertile soil. Of course, as forestry, it's nice to be planting them knowing that that might be one less log cut down from the intact forest. So it's a feel-good thing on, you know, planting koa.
It goes from these little pinnate things in the juvenile form, and then it gets to these mature leaves. We take so much, you know, on a daily basis. We just take. So it's always nice to turn it around.
I think it's pretty awesome. I mean, you look at the native forest there, and that's what we're trying to do here, you know, to bring the forest, the birds, the wildlife.
So Haleakalā Ranch is family owned. It's in, I think it's 8th generation. It's over 130 years. This project was inspired, it's one of 3 projects that was inspired by family members. So this was 22 years ago that you guys laid this out, and you had blocks where we would plant koa.
In 10 years' time, rainfall would probably increase in the lower pastures for cattle grasses.
So we put in 20,000 trees, kind of pursuant to this vision that you guys had.
Personally, I wanted to see the ranch get into wood production and improve the environment, and the more rain would come with more trees. I'm just glad to see it happening.
This place actually was a koa and ohia forest in ancient days, and so it is a natural place. And in this particular place, we're on the ridge between the wet and the dry sides of the mountain, and so there's enough moisture, and so it's a start. And I believe, you know, we'll be able to spread further and further into the lee of the mountain as time goes along. Bring the clouds, bring the rain.
This is an area that I've always enjoyed coming up to, and it's just so beautiful and serene and special. And so to be able to be part of bringing it back to what it once was, and to be able to be part of fulfilling the dream of the elders that came before us is very, very special to me and very gratifying.
We're going to plant our canopy trees first because they grow fast. That shade will help suppress grass and all of this blackberry over time, we hope, as well. We'll probably plant 75 to 100 koa trees per acre, so about 2,000 trees in this one paddock that we're in. We're going to let this place rest from any kind of grazing for maybe as much as 10 years. Bring the herd back in, because all of this grass and blackberry will grow back to some extent. They'll graze that again, prepping it again, and then we'll go in and we'll plant the understory, and then we'll take it out of grazing forever.
It was something that the ranch had practiced early on. Today, with what we know, we tend to go more with native trees and shrubs just because it's in balance with the environment. And then we have a great partner with Native Nursery, who are professionals in their field that are able to get these koa, ohia, maile, just multitude of trees.
Now to actually be up here planting, the workers feel like it's an honor to both plant outside of the nursery and then see it 10 years later.
That's what we're trying to do here, is try to develop something that uses today's lens with the history we have and the information we've gathered and the lessons we've learned over the last 125 years and try to apply it here.